Alright, so we're going to look at how to complete the square of the following quadratic. So solve by completing the square. So the first thing we're going to do is take the constant and move it to the other side. So subtract 25 from both sides. So the first step in completing the square is to subtract the constant from both sides. Now take this middle number, the number in front of x, and you divide that number by 2. So if we divide negative 8 by 2, we get negative 4. And then we're also going to square that number. So take the negative 4 that we just found, and now we're going to square it, and we get 16. Alright, once we've squared half of the number in front of x, or the coefficient in front of x, we add that to both sides of our equation. So we have x squared minus 8x plus 16 equals negative 25 plus 16. Alright, go ahead and simplify. X squared minus 8x plus 16 is equal to negative 9. Alright, and then if we factor this, and that's the point of completing the square, that this actually factors into two factors that both look like x minus 4. Or we could write this as x minus 4 squared is equal to negative 9. Alright, and we can use something called the square root property, and we actually square root both sides of this equation. So take the square root of both sides, and when you take the square root of a number, you have to remember that you have to put this plus or minus in front of the number every single time. And what happens over here on the left side is that we actually just end up with the equation x minus 4, so the square is gone. And over here, we need to take the square root of negative 9. So the first thing we would do is acknowledge that there's a negative sign in front. So that means we're going to have an I that comes out of our square root. And then we take the square root of 9, meaning what number do I have to multiply with itself to get 9? And that number is 3. So negative square root of 9 now turns into 3i. So I have x minus 4 is equal to plus or minus 3i. Now I add 4 to both sides. So this will look like x equals 4 plus or minus 3i. I can't combine these things because they're not alike. One is a whole number, the other is an imaginary number. So I can't combine those two things together. So I write them separately. And then when I enter my answers, I have two of them, 4 plus 3i and 4 minus 3i. And these are my two solutions.